Doesn't matter who they are, even the manager, anybody who's got to be told to stay in the car.
The test is not comfortable, to be honest.
They use like a kind of small stick in your nose.
What, Leroy?
8 weeks away. During summer is 4 weeks maximum, 5, but 8 weeks.
A lot of work has to go in for the next 3.5, 4 weeks. Hopefully they're ready.
Yeah, it's nice to come back, of course.
Start with that news that all Premier League and English Football League and Women's Super League matches will be postponed until April 3rd at the earliest.
You must stay at home, protect our NHS and save lives.
Yeah, can you hear me? We're going to do the warm-up and then just a quick strength circuit.
These are unprecedented times for sport across the world. We'll be discussing how coronavirus has affected football and where the game goes.
You're back soon, Rodri. You'll be back on the football pitch. This is easier. Hopefully. It's starting to sound like we're coming back, and the momentum's building. I hope so.
Well, we haven't seen Premier League football for 10 weeks, but within 24 hours, Project Restart will finally be up and running.
Yes, Dino.
Hello, sir.
You get your treadmill all sorted, have you?
Yeah, thank you for sending it up.
That's all right, mate. It's all right, mate. Got to keep you fit.
Yeah, back to the key, back to normal routine.
Let go, Johnny boy. Johnny boy, show me your hand.
Yes, Gabby.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
Okay. John, I'm okay. What? I'm excited. Okay? I like your beard.
Thank you.
And then to that end of the fourth bay.
That's including the canopy. So the car will then actually still be on.
Car will come here. Yeah. So when we're running up with normal business, that's when I said we'd have to put a stewarding plan, overlay. We're expecting the Premier League setup to arrive about 8 o'clock. They'll come on site and start building what will be the testing centre. Obviously there's been issues around where we locate that because we don't know how long it's going to be here. We think for a substantial amount of time initially, so we've had to set it up in a place where it won't interfere with normal business should that resume in the coming weeks and months. So this was the best location, obviously because of the size. I think the legs, if they fall about there. So it came through from a Premier League. Testing could be now this Sunday and Monday. If a return to protocol gets passed at the shareholders meeting, any club can begin small group training Tuesday afternoon if they want. Our protocol, unless it changes today, is that we will then begin our second phase of screening. And I think that's a 2-day to a 3-day operation. So it looks like they return a bit later, but we just want to go the extra standard.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all.
Oh, hey guys. Hi. How are you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, brilliant, thanks.
Kevin, thanks very much. It's made my week.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. Have a good week. Enjoy with the wife. Have some fun. Have some wine.
Try to, yeah.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kevin. All the best, mate.
Very quiet on your own. Very quiet. Watching your own shadow. Different aspects of the job for me as well. I'm actually losing weight. When you sit in the pod, you don't do nothing, do you? So now I'm walking around everywhere. I'm losing a bit. Feel a lot healthier.
Basically, guys, we're gonna do the test tomorrow afternoon. We're gonna let you know the different timings that you have. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Yeah.
This is the first main day, really, where we're starting to take the building back, if you like, and get it ready for operation. The thing is, though, you get so used to working from home that all of a sudden you get back to the office and you try to work out your equipment.
So now no players are allowed in the building at the moment?
No, there'll be nobody allowed in the building, with the exception of the team that we signed in this morning, and only under the Premier League guidance, when they start to come back for training, will they be able to use certain routes through the building. I'd say that'll even include, taped lines on the floor, markers, arrows, no entry signs. So it's not a normal use of the building by any means.
You're aware that from 12 today we're going to start testing of about 40 members of the first team stroke management and then backroom staff. The one thing I've got to stress is they've got to stay in their cars. It doesn't matter who they are, even the manager, anybody has got to be told to stay in the car. Any questions? Right, okay, thank you.
Just do the registration number of the vehicle, and that's it then. On an email, if you just
8 weeks away. Even summer is 4 weeks maximum, 5, but 8 weeks. Very unusual.
The COVID test is really easy. They use like a kind of small stick, and they use it in your mouth and in your nose, and that's when they take the I don't know, the proof to the test, and they examine, and they say they analyze.
The test is not comfortable, to be honest, but it's okay. It's what is it? So we do it, and we will do it more time.
This is all the kit for the players, boots and everything. This is players and staff. So they're going to pick that up today after they've had the testing.
All okay? No, all okay. Again? Don't worry, I'm coming back.
That it, Max?
Finish for today.
So as you've seen today, all the players and a number of the key backroom staff and management have gone through that first cycle of testing, and now we'll await the results before we go through a second phase of testing later on in the week.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Premier League clubs have voted unanimously to let players restart training in small groups from tomorrow. It's the first step towards resuming the season, which was suspended 2 months ago, with Liverpool just 2 victories away from the Euro.
Right, okay, perfect. And the arrows are self-explanatory, aren't they? So the access route is going to be where it says Marathon Bet. They're going to come across the path, up the steps to here. So clearly, when we come into groups, what we want to remind everybody of is the social distancing aspect. So all around the perimeter of the pitch, all 4 pitches on the tarmac, we're going to have sprayed the social distancing 2 metre reminders, and they'll be sprayed onto the pathway. We'll then indicate a route from the pitch at the end of training to take you into the indoor pitch. We'll drop some arrows, which are also spray painted on, down the roadway and across, so it's nice and clear. People can keep the distance, follow the arrows. It eliminates losing time wondering where people are going, so it's nice and straightforward from the minute you arrive and parking up to the minute you leave the pitch and go on the indoor before you get back in your cars and travel off-site.
What we're doing is cleaning every room in the first team. Once one of the operatives have done the clean, then I will go and inspect. Then we'll place the sticker on the wall to let the client know that this room has been cleaned and checked.
Ready for the team to train on this pitch here, pitch 1. We're going to erect 2 small marquee type structures, one in between these 2 power boxes, and then subdivide it so you can set up with medical equipment, GPS trackers, water and hydration type drop stations and an equipment store. The requirements are to do as much as you can outside. You're limited to a number of rooms which we have to put on a plan, such as a toilet, the medical area and the gym. Those are the only areas and an access route through the building. Everything else needs to be done pitch side, hence why we're putting these covers up.
So the logistics is, come in, if you need the medical you go, if not you come into the gym, you filter down here, you have your designated area, and then once we're done, well, let's escort them out that way.
That's it. Straight past cryo, straight into the boot area, turn right, don't sit on the chairs and I'm going to rub them off, straight out.
Perfect.
So today we're going to do similar setup as the last day. Okay, boys? So everyone in their fit shoes?
Yeah, the guys have hopefully kept themselves at a good level with the training plans that we sent them and all the gym work that we've been doing with them. Unfortunately, we don't have long before we have to play Premier League games, so a lot of work has to go in for the next 3.5-4 weeks to prepare them for the game. So hopefully they're ready.
Usually we will come in on an 8-week cycle. We will sanitise the entire building. The solution we use is a bit unique. It delivers a log killer 7, which is 99.9999% pathogens gone in seconds. Not only will it kill anything on it in seconds, but it will remain working for over 8 weeks. So normally we will come in an 8-week cycle, but obviously because these times are a little bit different, we're coming in a bit more frequently. When you consider you can get 150,000 bacteria on a pinhead, and typically a virus is about 10,000 times smaller than a bacterium, you're looking for a needle in a haystack, which is where the process we use is ideal, because what the droplets will do, they'll wrap around all over inside, they'll penetrate these niches all over, and very, very quickly we'll sanitise that.
So this area, this will be the recovery area. So you can see we've set 6 stations up, sanitise the entire pitch, and then the players will literally cool down, stretch off. There'll be foam roller type exercises going on in here before they finally finish here and then exit to head to the cars and then head off site.
Sunny at least, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, you. Good.
Right, so I'm just going to put this on the Ronin so that we can check that this will be one of the robotic cameras with the gamepad. It's definitely not how we normally do training. We're having to work to an ever-changing plan about where we can and can't be on site. So the red zone is an area of the CFA here, which we as the content team are not allowed to be in that zone whilst players and essential staff are on site. But because we think there's going to be so much interest coming from the fans wanting to see as much as they can of people, we're looking to get a number of robotic cameras at the side of the training pitches that are going to be used by the players tomorrow. So if okay, so is that still working? Yeah, that's wicked. That's really, really good. So Rick, I've got you here. I need to try and get a way of having the phone mounted to something here.
Yeah, Papa 2 to control. Yeah, just to let you know the first 5 are in anyhow, okay?
Are they in good spirits when they drive?
Yeah, they seem in good spirits. I think they're getting used to the ways and means of how it's going now.
Morning, Leroy. Morning. You just speak to the doctor, mate. I'll just take your temperature, okay?
We're all sort of getting back into the rut and the routine now. So what we're on today is each small group of 5 players coming back at specific times, all obviously split so that we can ensure that all the COVID-19 measures are in place. They'll come in through the main gates. They'll then go to Max, the club doctor, who's subject to a temperature test.
Morning, John. How are you, mate? You all right? Yeah, not bad, Paul. Not bad. Doctor's coming now. Ah, here he is. Feel okay? Good, yeah. Good, lad.
I'm checking the temperature of the players to complete their medical screen, daily medical screening. So questionnaire, and then temperature, and eventually medical check if there is anything wrong.
Must be a big change for them as well, the players. You imagine they live on a set routine, don't they? And this has totally thrown their life out.
The players park in the car park. They have to be 3 spaces apart. They then get out their cars wearing their gloves and mask, enter through the first team building, and each group arrives, 5 players at 15-minute intervals. So for their warm-up, the first group goes into the gym for their 15-minute exercise and warm-up, and the second group goes into the indoor hall and they do their exercise and warm-up routine there. Then in the indoor hall, because we're not allowed to use the changing rooms, we've set out 25 chairs at 2-metre spacings for the coaches and the players, once they've done their warm-up, to be able to sit down, put their boots on and get themselves ready then to go out on pitch for their training.
Never filmed like this before, but if we're close enough to the camera and we get on the gaming controller, we should, with a bit of luck, be able to control it. There we go.
So we're finally back in training. It's been a long break. Obviously the world's changed so much. so much work has gone in behind the scenes just to get to this stage now of getting everyone back to training. So many departments have been working non-stop and working with the Premier League and working with all these restrictions to try and make sure that we can get back. Just so many obstacles to make sure we do everything right, to do everything safely. We look after the players. The medical team have been working incredibly hard to get all the players screened and checked. I know all the players are really looking forward to being back together and training together, but we have to be careful how we train them. They've had a long period of time off. So many of them have been stuck in apartments or without the correct space to be able to train how they would normally train. So this is like the longest break they've had for so long. So now we have to build them up very carefully.
Well, it's looking like a long, hot bank holiday Monday, staying dry with plenty of warm sunshine and just a light breeze later. The highs of 22 Celsius.
It's quite interesting coming in today and seeing the kind of level of detail that the club have gone to make sure that absolutely everything is cleaned, sanitised, that people can distance from one another. It's incredible, really, that in such a short space of time they've completely changed the operation and the way it works. Pep, you've been at the CFA for a few days. Is it good to be back here?
Yes, of course, especially today with the first sunny day. Yeah, it's nice to come back, of course. We don't do anything special. So the special are the people, the doctors, nurses, scientists, cleaners. In a special situation around the world, you have to adapt.
Pep, thank you so much for talking.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You here?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. How's it okay?
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, good.
Premier League clubs have voted unanimously to resume contact training. Under the plan, squads will be able to train as a group and engage in tackling while minimising unnecessary close contact.
So Premier League clubs have approved a return to contact training. So we are on the way to Project Restart. We'll keep you right up to date.
Take off.
When we knew we were going to train all together, for sure, is a good news for us because football is about the team.
In terms of packed lunches, this is class. Proper takeaway. It's good that we've come through this first phase and now we can adjust the training to make it even more realistic and help the players prepare.
What we have done is a tough work. We have 2 more weeks to prepare for our first game.